Here now, just a little after 7 o'clock, so. Great, very good. Thanks very much for coming out tonight. We really appreciate the time everybody has taken to come out and hear about the plans of what we have for the Hockey Heritage Center. First thing I'd like to do is just make sure that we recognize the committee that has brought this forward and worked very, very hard, going on 3 years now. So we're trying to, we'll make sure that we recognize everybody. I'll start down at the end. We have Gary Cochran from the municipality of West Hants. Frank Junior Moore. We have Dave Hunter from the Hockey Heritage Society. Danny Dill. RMLA Chuck Porter. Jeff Redden. And Joe Seagram. My name is Greg Kelley. I'm the president of the Long Pond Arena Society. That's the group that is bringing forward this proposal and are working very hard to get this facility in the ground as soon as possible. Like I said, we started a little over 2 years ago, going on 3 years this in 2016. And we started with the mandate just to try and get a new facility here. We got together, we recognized we had an issue, we have to try and do something with the facilities we had, and started from there. And really it came back to, we knew right away that we had something here that was a little bit special, and we heard loud and clear from the Premier and from the province that there is no money for rinks or recreation facilities in the budgets. So we had to find a way that we could get this project done without using that as our premise. And that's really where we came up with the idea that we would run with this Cooperstown North and really sell the birthplace of hockey, Long Pond, everything that we've worked for over the years and the Hockey Heritage Society has created for many years. And we would do it the same way that Cooperstown did. Cooperstown, of course, is our twin city in the U.S. and known as the home of baseball. So Cooperstown has everything that we have, except they're really prosperous now. And not everybody was in agreement with when they started their process to be the home of baseball either. We need this. We need a region, something in our community that will spur economic development and bring us forward here in Windsor and in Nova Scotia. The Ivan report was very timely for us. It was our now or never moment. When we sat back and we looked at where we were, what we were trying to create, we said, it is our time. And it was up to us. We needed to take the courage to step ahead. We couldn't wait. It needed to be done, and we found a way to take it there. Long Pond and the Hockey Heritage Center can be our economic driver for this community. This is a huge, huge undertaking for us, and it should be embraced by many. Cooperstown, Obama talked about Cooperstown being the engine for upstate New York. They get 300,000 visitors a year, bring in 120 million or 160 million annually to their community. Each person who goes there spends an average of $500 US. Imagine if we could get any percentage of that to come and talk and visit the Hockey Heritage Center, come eat in our restaurants, stay in our community, spend in our shops, just get to know us here. Anna Green Gables, 1 in 4 visitors who visits PEI goes to see Anna Green Gables. That's 170,000 visitors a year that come specifically for that event, to see that place and that bit of history for the island. We have 65,000 visitors a year go to Iowa to see a field that was constructed for the Field of Dreams. It's only ever been used for a movie. That's it. 65,000 people go to see that every year. Chris Hadfield tweeted from the space station about looking across Nova Scotia and thinking about the birthplace of hockey. That's here. He could have tweeted about anything. He's looking on Nova Scotia from the space station. He recognizes the value that brings to us in our community. Sports Illustrated, another great endorsement came last August when they called Long Pond one of the 7 hockey wonders of the world. Every other wonder that's there is an indoor building. We have something special. We have the pond. We have the place, and it's basically unspoiled. And we want to keep it that way. We want it to be unspoiled. We want people to come out and see what magic that pond brings to this community and what it brings to hockey. Yesterday, Joe and I were very fortunate. We were part of the Hockey Canada announcements that happened in Halifax to coincide with the Hockey Order of Canada. Part of that process, when they hold the event in whatever city they hold it in, and this year in June it'll be held in Halifax. It's the first time that they're holding that event outside of an NHL city. We were very fortunate to be considered by the Hockey Canada Foundation to be awarded money from that event. Hockey Nova Scotia, the Sidney Crosby Society, and the Long Pond Arena Society will be the beneficiaries of the money from the fundraising of that night. And that is a huge... We want to build something that is both representative of the outdoor game and the indoor game. We want to create that special environment that brings both together. And we have that here locally. We've always had it here locally, but we need to find a way to bring it to the rest of the world. You can look at the site plan here. It's a little bit hard to see the colorization, but the far building at the top of the screen would be the facility that we're proposing on the other side of the gym and pool here over towards Long Pond. You see some different elevations from the back side and the front side on the bottom. You know, fits in with the landscape. It's not going to stick way up in the air. It follows, because it's a multi-leveled facility, we're going to be able to fit that in with the slope of the land that's there. See a beautiful rendering of what we hope to create in the foyer as you come into the building. We really want to create that awe-inspiring moment. We want people to walk in here and go, wow, I've arrived. I'm here. I'm at a shrine to this game. And this is an opportunity for us to do that. Obviously, the heritage piece of the game is key in all of this. All the funding, whether, I spoke about it with provincial funding, but we have the same issues around federal funding. There is no federal funding for rinks or for recreational facilities at this time. That may change as we move ahead into the next budget year, but at this point, there's still nothing there. So we need to find a way that we can continue to do that, and we're going to be able to make sure that we can do things that embrace the heritage. One of the key pieces of that, of course, or 2 pieces of that, are the Hockey Heritage Society and their displays and their tremendous amount of hockey memorabilia and treasures that they display now at the Halliburton House in their museum. We want to find a place to bring that all together for them. Also, we have the Dill family collection that we'll be more than happy to put on display and show all through the building. I mean, this whole building is really a shrine to the game. It just doesn't have to happen inside of one piece of it in the museum. All right. Yeah, so we have different looks through the building. You're going to be able to see the arena from inside of the museum. We really want to bring together both the old and the new, the heritage and the way the game is played today. Both will be able to be side by side and really showcase what it is that the game means to Canada now. You'll be able to look out across the fields into Long Pond from the museum and enjoy the whole landscape as well. You can see here we have 2 pads, 2 NHL-sized pads. One of the things that we did is we moved through this process and we had our public meetings, we had people come here and other venues when we spoke to councils. One of the things that came up and we talked about was we'd originally proposed an Olympic-size ice surface. People told us they didn't want an Olympic-size ice surface. They wanted something different. We listened. We now are showing 2 NHL-size ice surfaces that will give us a tremendous amount of flexibility and a tremendous playing area for everybody to develop the game with. Because we want to bring both indoors and outdoors together, it's important that we have places that people can enjoy both parts of it. And here you see a great rendering of the patio space that's above the museum. This looks out over Long Pond. It can be a great place for families to go and enjoy. You know, it sure would be great if we can continue, if we can have that heated and in such a way that at least the snow stays off it. We can get out on it year-round in order to make sure that everybody can get out and enjoy that view. We have within the facility a training area that will be able to overlook the both rinks while they're in use. People will be able to train in a high-performance training center to help develop all levels of athletes and of all types of athletes within the facility. Also, we'll have a 300-meter walking track or running track around the whole outside perimeter of the building. And this is sort of different. As you can see below, you see the green. That's because on the second floor above the hockey rinks, we're also planning to have 2 turf fields. Those turf fields can be used not only for soccer, they can be used for any turf game. They could be being used during the winter for baseball, softball, rugby, football, whatever. It's sky's the limit for anything that you want to use turf for there. This is a really, really good use of space in this. Also brings us a whole new demographic into the building. A whole different group of people other than hockey players that can come and use this facility and be part of it. The walking track also will be a place where we can display memorabilia, have displays about a walk through time in hockey, celebrate different aspects of the game, and you'll be able to walk around the whole way. There are also, you might have noticed on the building, there's windows all the way around the top of it. Those windows are actually around the walking track. So as you walk around, you'll be able to look out across the Martop, out across plains that we have out here, the Great Dyke views. You'll be able to look across the Long Pond. You'll be able to really bring the outdoors in, and what a fantastic way to do it. I know right now one of the primary concerns that many seniors and people with small children have is in the winter we don't have a great place to walk. This is a fantastic place for people to be able to come and walk in a safe environment through the winter or all year round. Even if they just want to come in the summer, it'll be climate controlled, so of course they'll be able to come in and don't have to suffer through the heat. So it can also be used in many ways for individual track and field teams. Because of the size of this track, the actual straightaways are 60 meters, I believe, in length, which is really good for teams to be able to work on sprinting, that quick muscle reflex type of work that we can use this track for as well. You know, we're open to all kinds of proposals that way of how it can be used. I know I talked to a friend of mine who's a cyclist, and he said, well, geez, 300 meters, if it's wide enough, we could book it and have, indoor cycling in the winter. Not the velodrome type, of course, but just a way for people to get on their bikes and keep that, keep keen on that through the winter. So the overview of this, of course, is that we have 2 NHL-size ice pads, one with seating of 850, the other about 250. That was another piece that was really important to a lot of people out there. They really wanted to have one of the ice surfaces have a little bit bigger seating capacity so that we could have bigger games. Maybe hopefully we could bring the Don Johnson Cup, the Junior B team here to this facility. It would give us a great place to host in the off seasons, maybe to have small venue concerts. We have 850 seats up in the stands, plus what we can put on the floor. What a great opportunity to have a facility of a size that we could bring something completely different into our community and have it in a place that's beautiful for everybody to come to. We'll have 15 dressing rooms. That's 2 more for female players. That's really important. Females are a key development piece for all of hockey across this country, and they're a key piece for Hockey Nova Scotia and Hockey Canada. We'll have two more dedicated rooms for females, huge fitness facility, 6,750 square feet, 2 indoor turf fields, 10 change rooms for the turf fields that go down the middle between the two. Huge interpretive display and indoor track. So like I said, all the way around the track we'll have displays. And those could be fixed, they could be changing, right? We've talked about all kinds of different ways that we could use that. Maybe bring in different displays from different areas. We could key in and work with Hockey Nova Scotia, Hockey Canada, continue to work with any number of different third parties who want to bring memorabilia and show here as part of this. A full restaurant with seating areas and view of the ice, 2,800 square feet of museum space, another 2,800 square feet of patio space overlooking Long Pond that we talked about, 2 large viewing areas for the turf fields above the change rooms. That's right down the center. If you didn't notice it, we'll have lots of time. You can go around and you can look a little bit closer at the renderings. But if you look, there's a center space down the middle of those turf fields that will give people an opportunity to come and watch. So families can go there. Walkers, atrium and rest area. In the front of the building, one of the things that's really unique about this and having that walking track up on the third, kind of a quasi-third floor above the second floor, is that we can come in and we can create that seating area right on the front of the building in this front corridor area that comes in. So people will have that ability to be able to sit up there, look out over Long Pond, look out over the fields towards Marcotte, sit, have a chat, have a rest, and then go back out on the walking track. One of the issues that comes up with a lot of the facilities that have walking tracks around the hockey, just the hockey playing area, and it's come up in many of the facilities, is that those walkers and runners are impeded by people trying to watch the game. Just because they're there standing, they're walking back and forth, there are kids running in and out. In this case, the walking track's its own space, it's its own spot. We don't have to worry about any issues around that. It makes it a little safer for everybody as well. This should be a really, really big win-win. The other thing is it doesn't have to close down if there's a special event going on in one of the arenas. It's still available to the whole community at that point. Audio-visual rooms and access from College Road and from Clifton Avenue. One of the things that's hard to pick up on the renderings is that part of this planning process is to make sure that we have 2 ways to come into this. You're going to be able to come in from the Clifton Avenue side, and there will be roadways that are built that come in off of Clifton Avenue on the existing road, but as opposed to coming in through that kind of winding, if you've ever come in through, there's some fairly sharp turns. We'll be able to actually bring that in and come down on a more direct path to that building from that end of town. And then we'll come off of Wade Drive out here and come up across the field and come into the parking lot in front of Long Pond. This is a lot more than an arena. This is something that we can all embrace, that we can create a shrine to the game. We can make sure that we bring something that is a bucket list item for every hockey fan across this country. We've already talked to people near and far. I mean, from our January 30th announcement with the province, we got a lot of press across the country. We've had people contact us from across the country, like they love this idea. They really want a place to come celebrate the game. They want something like they have in Cooperstown. This is our opportunity to create that, create the economic driver, a recreational facility, and a wellness center that we can create a place for our community to participate, get active, and stay involved in the community. cost for the facility is about $12 million plus HST. General contractor and consultant for this is a company called CanSport. They're currently building an arena complex in Bedford, so they will also have 3 pads in Bedford on the Bedford Commons down there. Because we've very successfully been able to create partnerships through this whole process, you know, with the town, the municipality, Kings Edge Hill, CanSport, we'll have the ability to have access not only to 2 facilities here, Brooklyn, we could have 3 ice surfaces available to us to run huge tournaments in Bedford as we bring this all together. That's a huge piece as well. If you don't believe that there's economic drivers in having big hockey tournaments, go ask Sedma and what happens. Go down to Dartmouth and see how many hotels are full every year when that tournament happens. Joe LaMontagne during the March break. You know, up in Cape Breton, they run fantastic tournaments, and it fills hotels up there. We need to do that. It fills hotels, restaurants, shops. Everything that we want to bring to this community is available to us. We just have to bring it together and find a way to make it happen. The ownership of this is the Long Pond Arena Society. That's a community-based society that's set up here in town with members from the community. That's who's going to own and operate this facility. We can, as an operator, as an owner, bring in a CanSport is to manage this facility on a professional basis for us. It's very much in line with what a lot of municipalities are doing now. It's actually being used at the BMO Center. They have a professional management company that comes in and who operates that facility. It's not run by the city. It's run by a private organization. We're proposing to do the same thing, to make sure that we have a level of professional management that we may not be able to produce ourselves. And we want to make sure that we have somebody who is keyed in and paying attention all the time to this. Because we don't want this facility to fail in any way. We have to make sure that the operations are profitable and it's sustainable for the long run. And we have to make sure we get it built to do that. Because CanSport has skin in the game on this, and they're there to make sure that this facility operates at a profit. It makes sure that we have a very efficient facility. I don't think anybody should be scared of any of that. Because you know what? Everything that we have, we all understand how competition and how people, when things are operated efficiently, that the price is right for the market that is there. We have Long Pond. It is the cradle of the game, and we need to celebrate it. Anybody who was fortunate enough to get out to the Long Pond Heritage Classic this year got a huge treat. This is what we had to play with that day. It was incredible. You couldn't have planned a better backdrop for that event. Everybody that was there loved it. And we had Rich Sutter, ex-NHLer, and he said, if there's a hockey heaven, this is it. And that's what we need to sell. That's what we need to bring to the world. That's the part that we can sell to the rest of this country and to the rest of the world to come here and be part of this. Come and see the history of the game. This is where it began. right? This is the origin of the game here. We need to act now. This is our moment to take charge of this, to grasp it, and run with it. Thank you very much for your attention to that part of the evening. What I'd like to do now is make sure that if there are any questions that anybody has. We have kind of the whole group of people that have been part of this project from the start here. So if anybody has any questions, we have a mic up here that if you can come up and ask the question, and then we'll direct it to who's best suited to answer that.